Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today on Holy Bull Day. It is a beautiful day for racing here at Gulfstream Park. The track is fast, turf is firm. We've got 12 races on the card today. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you. Excited to have everybody out here. We just got done with one banner weekend and now we're on to another one. I love getting into this the 3-year-olds here just on display, Brian, and it'll be a good day of racing.
Front and center here, Fierce as the 2-year-old champion, going to come back, make his 3-year-old debut for Todd Pletcher, and Ronnie will be up a little later, but as he says, it's a Chamber of Commerce kind of day. It is literally the best day of the year, so we hope to see everybody out here. Beautiful weather. The Bourbon and Barbecue is upstairs as well. We've got 12 absolute awesome races today. 4 stakes, 3 graded. And, 5 stakes, 4 graded.
Yeah,
Try to cheat him there. Tremendous late pick 5. The Rainbow, somebody hit it yesterday, huh?
Somebody did hit it yesterday, so we start anew today. That will be a huge pool because this is a big game in town. It'll be more than that.
Yeah, guesstimated pool at 75, and it's a big Saturday, and we're front and center here at Gulfstream Park, so it'll be a large number regardless of what it is, and that early pick 5 is going to be a big one too.
It will. Let's look at your ticket.
Now we'll take a look at it. Now I lost my best bet of the day in race number 5, and that was my anchor, so I really had to do a bunch of reworking here. It is what it is, but $45 ticket for me. I had to cut down in the middle because I didn't have the anchor anymore. In race number 2, Alexis Zorba is the top pick there, right back for me. In race number 3, it is the 3, Minxie. In race number 4, it is the 4, Supreme Dominance. How about that? And in race number 5, I lost the 7, unfortunately. My best bet of the day, Smoky Mandate. I scratch in to the outside to the 9, Roos, who I thought ran pretty well last time for Timmy Hills in a good race. So that's a $45 early pick 5 that, like I said, bummed out that I lost my best bet, but it is what it is, and we bob and weave and move on.
We do, and move on to this first race. You've got the 7 singled. This is my best bet today here. Do note that the number 2 will be ridden by Luca Panici here. The 7, Kozal. I was all over her first time out, and I'm obviously not going to get that price again. She ran very well for a barn that does not usually connect with winners first out.
Yeah, hey, super high 5 carryover too. Look at that, $10,000 and counting. That'll be massive in the opener as well. Terry's maybe 16, 0 for 16, 0 for 17 with first-time starters. Has kind of shifted her program a little bit. Conversely, second-time starters, much higher percentage. Bluish was good that day for Safi. I love the post for Kozal, and this is the old all systems go angle today.
Yep, it really is. The 1 for Antonio Sano, coming back after a little bit of a layoff. I don't really know what to make of her.
Yeah, I don't like her. Doesn't have a lot of speed, but I think she can run past some horses in the lane. She's going to have to hustle to get there, but I do think she'll pass several.
Race 2, it's our first turf race of the day, 7.5 furlongs, optional claimers. The 1 is out. That was my top pick. It's kind of blew this race up for me. The 6, Alexis Zorba, you're coming right back off the victory.
Right back. How good was he? Just popped the field going a mile. They finally got him over the hump. He was a nibbler. He was a disappointer. He was a lot of different things, but Mike Maker in his first start for the barn, going long, he just forgot to stop, and he ran fast and hard to do it. I don't really see, Samantha, anybody running with him early, and Louis will take the initiative and put him on the engine.
Yeah, he will. All of these horses, they run the same numbers each and every time, kind of, so the separation between them, there isn't a very big one. The 2 is listed as a gelding. I do want to note that. You've got him in the mix. The 5, Alley Oop Johnny, Marty Drexler. This horse, let's be honest, kind of hung a little bit last time.
I didn't like him. I was a big fade on him today, but unfortunately, I move him up here with the scratch. He didn't run poorly. I don't want to beat him up too much, but if you go back and you watch the race, Samantha said it, the H word is in play because he was supposed to win, and he just didn't.
Yeah. The 9 is also out in this spot, too. I do want to note that. Yep. Race 3, they're state-bred fillies going 6.5 furlongs here. It's a clean race of 6. And the 3, Minxie, looking for a speed popper here.
Yeah, that's what it is. Minxie's she's not going to have to work as hard as she did last time. She just essentially got dueled into the ground, going 45-4. The 1-2-3 early were 7-3 last late. The race completely fell apart. I'm not going to hold it against her. I like this group for her. There's some horses in here coming out of that race. Adios Babe at 37-1. You can't trust her to run right back. And I think Minxie just has a much easier go of it today, Samantha, on the front end.
If you find some leverage, this is to me, if you're playing a big ticket, would be a wheel for me, because there's not even one that really looks like you can't throw out. I feel like Atlanta Alexander still is one that could be a player here. She just hasn't had things go her way.
Right.
It's one of those races where it could be, it could be tough. So I like that you're going with the speed play, because I don't really see any huge deep closers here.
No, and your pick. If Adios Babe runs back to her last race, she's probably going to win. But you just got to ask yourself: 31-1, 24-1, 37-1. Where the heck did that come from?
Right.
So I'm going to take a little wait and see approach, but certainly, she's in the mix here. It's like you said, this is a very logical all-ball race if you can get to it.
Exactly. Race 4. It's a maiden special weight event, a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. These are for 3-year-olds here. Field of 7.
Yep.
The 4, Supreme Dominance, Ammo Racing, Jorge Delgado, Irad, lethal connections there.
Yeah, and I think this horse can get loose in here.
Yep.
I would assume Irad takes the initiative. They didn't bet this horse on debut, which worries me. 9-1. Catalytic was so good for Safi. Looking forward to seeing him come back at some point. Lay 6, we stretch out here. Top and bottom is all 2 turns. And other than the favorite, who I don't necessarily like at all, to be perfully honest with you, and you're going to talk about him in a second. I mean, who else are you going with in here? So
that's tough. And this is another one that I would be using 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
The 5, Bayless out for me. I was completely against him last race. I will say this about him, and I pointed this out to you as we watched the race live. I said, look at him move up the rail, because we'll see it actually in the replay for a race we show in a couple races. So I'll point him out, but he galloped out really well. I don't think he's the best moving horse. He kind of looks like a turf horse to me, but I love the 2 turns, and I just think that the contentions run deep here.
We didn't like him at all in the last part of my notes, where I said he ran on a bit late, in parentheses, and better than expected. I did not. We didn't like him at all.
Yep.
So he ran okay. Born Noble could be a freak. We get to see him in a couple of races. We'll talk about it. Big City ran okay in the Hot Maiden race on Pegasus Day. I think he was 3rd. He kind of got run off his feet in a freaky fast race that we're not really sure we trust in that race or not. But Bayless Out's clearly the horse to beat in here.
Yeah, and the two Cassie runners are tough as well. Race 5. It is the Tropical Turf Pick 3, 7.5 furlongs. I'll show my ticket here. This is a good sequence today. I'm singling here. Now, this is one that I could have hit the all ball on, but it would be way too expensive. We'll get to this race in a second. Race 8, that is the Sweetest Chant, the grade 3, a mile and a 16th. I'm spreading a little bit. I do have the 8 Golden Ghost on top, but again, a tough race. Race number 11, big scratch of Agate Road. I never had him in my top 4, but he was one that I think I had as an extra as a 5th pick. Hammerstein for me, for Brian Lynch, the 1 is who I've got on top. A very tough race, and excited to get into that. Just kind of going through these early races to get to the thick of the card. But the 5th race here, this is a tough one, Brian. 7.5 furlongs. We scratch the 7, Smoky Mandate. You go to the 9, Ruse. Okay.
Yeah, scratch into him. Smoky Mandate was my best bet of the day. I didn't have much of an opinion after this. I did think Ruse ran well last time for Timmy Hills, and he showed a new dimension. He was kind of forced to show a new dimension because this is a horse that really typically wants to be involved early on. Joe Bravo got him to settle. He was pace compromised that day in a race that held pretty together. The horses that were 1 too early finished 2-1 late. He made a nice late run, Samantha, to be 3rd. I don't like this post, but again, I do scratch into him.
It's a better post, I feel like, than his last race.
I agree with that.
The 6, Rotterdam. I loved this horse last time. He just blew up for the Ralph Nix barn. 6 for 12 this meet right now, and a horse for me that I think getting back to the grass is even better. Now we've got a consistent pattern in his tab.
Yeah, I agree. Ralph's finally got some races into him now. Second off the layoff, back to the turf. Your price is gone, unfortunately, with the 7 Smoky mandate out of this race. But, he's a very logical contender. We haven't seen Ralph in a little bit, but my goodness, when everything Ralph has sent out has been, I was going to say live, has been winning, really, 6 or 12.
Yeah, exactly. And OK Boomer, I feel like, is one that, when you're spreading, you have to use.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah. I mean, I would think maybe you can be a little forgiving. You talk about it all the time. I don't even know if you can trust. We saw it the other day with Star Fortress, these Churchill turf races.
You just don't trust
him at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when, at least we do have 2 local wins here. That helps quite a bit. Race number 6, 1 mile on the main track. It's a very, very competitive field of 7. We scratched the 7 out of this spot here. And Born Noble, let's pull up the replay. Brian, I'll let you talk about it. This was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this horse essentially has no idea what the heck he's doing, I guess. Yeah. Is that a good way to put it? And he still wins off by the length of the stretch here. That was a nice Mark Hennig horse. He just completely drilled into the ground. Watch him all over the place here. Irad's got his hands full here, and he's drifting in. He's trying to keep him straight, and he wants to lug out and all this. But regardless, Samantha, he's running as much sideways as he is forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a performance.
And he galloped out huge as well, too. It was a big effort here. Can he improve off of that? Probably.
Yeah.
Or even if he runs the same and everybody else stays the same, he's going to win this race.
Yeah, I mean, he would be, if his stablemate wasn't in the Holy Bull and he was in the Holy Bull, he'd be 7-5 in that race. Yeah. I mean, this is a serious talent. 725 they paid for this Constitution out of a Ghost Zapper. Mary gets that Lasix today as well.
Yeah.
This is the old sky's the limit kind of horse for Vinny Viola and West Point and the gang here. And we'll just see facing winners today. I get it. And Safi's got a nice one. I caught up with Safi. We'll show you that a little bit later on. Merritt's a nice horse. I mean, he won by the length of the stretch on debut as well. But, boy, Born Noble is this is clearly, to me, the best maiden winner we've had at the meet, right?
Yeah, I would have said so far, yes, I would agree. And you have to respect Merritt because his race was huge. The layoff between the December 9th and January 13th were kind of put a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. But still, when you win by that much, you got to...
Yeah, there was some messiness going on behind him, so he was flattered a little bit. And I talked to Safi. You'll hear it. Safi knows he's in with a real horse today. He's going to have problems with Born Noble.
Yeah.
But I think Merritt is a very good horse in and of himself, and I would think probably after this race, Merritt moves forward in a big way. The horse I'm dead set against, it looks like you kind of are too, is Aries Magic. I mean, I know he was 90 cents on the dollar. I know he won easily at Tampa. That was not an impressive race at all. Visually.
No, and the race just collapsed in front of him. That was all it was.
Exactly.
So he's going to have his work cut out for him. You've got Louis Saez aboard, so he's going to be on a send mission.
Yeah.
But this horse doesn't really want to be
I agree with
in the mix early. So it's just kind of one of those races. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Brian will have that Rainbow Six ticket as we get into the premium stakes races on this Gulfstream Park Holy Bull Day.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you on Holy Bull Day. It's a huge day of racing here at Gulfstream Park. Race 7 kicks off the Rainbow Six. Brian's got the ticket.
I do not have the ticket.
Oh, Ron.
Hey.
You're right. Ron has got the ticket.
Ron
is back.
is back, baby.
Look at this.
Like a phoenix rising from Arizona. Ron is back. We love it. And this is the playbook, 4320. Could it be anything else?
No.
On Ron's first Rainbow Six duty back. So he'll be having the rainbow on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Ron, you're going to have the rainbow. If he's listening in the office, he'll be with me for the opener here. And you can see it there. He's got the 43-20. No singles in this, so his best bet's not in there. He's going 3 deep in the Holy Bull. That's very, very interesting.
It is,
so
yeah.
I like that, because if you beat Fierceness, this whole thing blows way up. And that estimated pool today is 75,000. I got a feeling there's going to be a big number today. They're going to be firing today. What a card we have.
Yep, they are.
Yep.
43-20, the playbook play. Race 7. This is a tricky one to kick it off. A mile and a 16th. This is on the Tapeta. A few first-time starters. Some we don't have a lot to go off of, but you're on the 3. Little Miss Money for trainer Brian Lynch.
Well, if you're not, I'm a little scared if you're not on the 3. I thought that the turf race, the Tapeta race, 2 back was the best effort here. And now today we get to run with LASIK, so that's all. I mean, maybe we get Brian at a little bit of a price. There are a lot of firsters in here that could be bet. Maybe they're not going to be bet. We'll see how it shakes out. I do think this is a tote board race, Samantha, but it's not an easy race to kick off the Rainbow Six, I'll tell you that much.
No, not at all, especially it being on the Tapeta. You don't know how they're going to handle it, especially these ones with no form at all. I'm taking a stab with a first-time starter, Missoula. I just watched one work at Payson. It was way better than the time suggested, just a big stride. I don't know what we're going to get, though, on the Tapeta there. Poolside with Slim. This is a horse that ran a big number, the 8 horse here at Turfway Park.
Yeah, so you don't know about the Turfway horse, and then Todd's got El McGeeth, the 9 horse, the Shadwell horse that this is a half to early voting, so I mean, anything you get on the turf or Tapeta is seemingly Preakness winner early voting gravy, but both these horses ran the best races. Doesn't mean they have to win today, but I'm not playing a real ticket without them, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is a really tricky race. So watch the tote board. You get to take a look at them before the sequence starts, so that's always a good thing. Race 8, we get into the graded stakes race action here. It's late pick 5. I've got a ticket. Brian and I did a video. You can check that out. A really good one, too, on both of how we're going to play this, but we'll take a quick look at my ticket here. It's a solid race to kick things off. I don't have an opinion here. The 8 is who I do have on top. Golden Ghost, though. Race 9, this is... if I was going to spread, not take a single in here, I would. But Legalize is who I have on top. Now, I do think that the 5, Bilal, is a close... that would be the one I would add if you wanted to double this. Now, race 10. I've got the 7, Witwatersrand on top. Yeah. This is one, I love this horse today. I really, really do. I think that Connect getting on the dirt is huge. Race 11, it's a grade 3 Kitten's Joy. I got the 1 Hammerstein on top, and there you go, Fierceness. I don't see anybody beating this colt today. $48 to play, and Brian, a really good race to get things going. Grade 3 Swedish Chant. You've got Makanga on top. Talk about it.
Well, I just think she's going to pop the field. I don't see anyone running with her. She got to the turf last time, absolutely freaked over it. She was just streaking home in the lane. I was surprised when we talked earlier. You didn't really have her in there. Who's running with her early? I know she's stepping up in class.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody running with her early.
No, you make a good point there, and I think I did add her in my.
Yeah,
I do have her in my ticket. So, yeah, she could. She's unproven. A lot of these are, so that's all right in a spot like this. Let's take a look at the replay of Milliot here, because you caught up with Jack Sisterson. She didn't break that well.
Right.
She was kind of, I don't want to say you're off, they're off, you lose, but didn't put her in a good spot.
No, it wasn't. We didn't like Ozara at all this day. She ran a winning race, Milliot did for sure. Now, Ozara, to her credit, came back and absolutely blitzed them in the Ginger Brew. We'll show you that in a second. But here's Milliot getting out now. She's in daylight. She's uncovered, and she's going to roll on late. She was best this race, easily best. She's going to have to step up. She meets a lot better today, but I feel like, and you'll hear Jack say it to himself, with that race behind her now, we're ready to roll, and we're going to see the real, as her definitive effort today, I think.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Now, we've got a few coming out of the same race, a couple of them, Life's Inaudible, Madame Mischief. And this was, to Madame Mischief's credit, she got into some trouble here, a lot of trouble, and I think she's much better than this. And then we see Life's Inaudible, who's got that How did you weigh? She leaves herself with a lot of work to do, Brian.
I think that right there, I thought it almost Madam Mischief clip heels a charge and
Right.
note anything.
Yeah.
She had a nightmarish
She
trip.
did.
Now, here's Life's an Audible. I forget if I had her 9-5 or 2-1 in the race or something like that. They didn't bet her. She was completely dead on the board, so I was wrong there. But I just
and look at Madam Mischief.
yeah,
Gallop
Madam
out, sorry,
Mischief
yeah.
gallop out. I played her that day.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no fault of Paco. He just had a hellacious trip,
Yeah.
an annoying trip. A turf trip is really what it was. You see it all the time. Back to Life's an Audible. I would expect she gets a huge edge today on the post position. She was out in the parking lot last time. Now she's back. Ozara, who we didn't like at all last. We went like 5 deep and didn't use her.
Yeah.
She was darn good.
Yeah.
I expect a lot better from Life's an Audible today, and I would think Todd's got the screws a little tighter today.
The first race coming off the Breeders' Cup can
Yes,
be
you
tough.
say that a
It
lot.
could be good or it could be very tough, and I think that was one where she had a little bit of trouble.
Agree.
Race 9. It's a late pick 4. Brian will tweet out that ticket. It's the Swale. 7 furlongs. We scratched the one. Ben Tornado. He's taking the old Saudi Derby route. We've got 8 of them left here. The 5 on top Bilo for you.
Yeah, I always had this horse on top. We kind of knew that Ben Tornado was coming out. I did redo the line on this, and Legalize is 9-5 now. So just so you know, I sent that out there. But I did always have this horse on top. I like getting back Samantha to 7 furlongs with or without Ben Tornado. I feel like the 7th furlong in this race could be problematic for some of these horses.
It could, and Bilo, the Nashua race, Where's Chris was a huge upset winner. Bookham Dano, he's going to the Saudi Derby as well. There was a big separation between those two in
Right.
Bilo, and then the Remsen, you kind of have to cross that out because there's a huge speed inside track, and that was just you can't really read too much into that. Let's take a look at the 7 Legalized. This was his Sugar Bowl effort. It was a really, really impressive victory at Fairgrounds, Brian.
Yeah, Cherie DeVoe, good to see her bring him over here from Fairgrounds now. This was a powerful effort. We know that long stretch at Fairgrounds is not easy on a young horse, and he does stride out very, very nicely. He's meeting much better today. There's much more depth in this race today. I think he's going to have to answer the bell. I will say this for Legalize, and he's certainly bred to run on. I do think of all the horses that want to be involved early, he clearly benefits the most from the draw because he's outside any of them.
Yes, exactly. And then we've got Risk It, and Steve Asmussen has only had 1 runner in the last 5 years, and that was in 2020 in the Pegasus World Cup with Tenfold.
Old Tenfold.
Yeah. So it's very interesting that he brings this horse here. We saw him schooling out here the other day. He doesn't want to go 2 turns.
No, I think he might get hurt by the scratch, though, because I think he needs a lot of pace in front of him. I don't know. It's not going to be as hot for him today. It's just cool to see a Hall of Famer, Steve, to bring a horse over here. And Tyler Gaffleone has ridden this horse in the past, too. So, he's going to make a dent in here.
Yeah, don't sleep on the 4 Gramo the first either because he doesn't want the grass. He's never been on the dirt. Just keep note of that. Race 10, the grade 3 Forward Gal. The 1 is scratched from this. It's 7 furlongs. It's a field of 6 now. The 5 for you, Nikitas for Chad Brown, who's a barn that's picked up steam now.
He has. You didn't pick either of the favorites. I didn't want to pick either of the favorites. You like your top pick more than I like my top pick, but I do feel like Scalable and our Ideals Jersey, our Harper Rose. I'm mixing up horses here. They're going at it early. They're going at it often, and I think that 7th furlong's going to be a real problem for both of them. So I'm just going to think if Nikitas can pick things up a little bit. That was a cigar mile day at Aqueduct, and she was one of the few horses that day to come from off of it on a historically inside speed track. So I think that's pretty good too.
Yeah, let's look at the 7 Witwatersrand, apparently named after something in South Africa.
A gold mine or something like that?
No, I don't think that. But
No?
No. Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, so she's on the outside here. Connect on the Tapeta. Statistics don't lie. Connect is out of Curlin. 16% on the dirt here. Why can this horse not run on the dirt? She just played with Jessamine Hill, who we'll see in the maiden event earlier. She looks like she gets over the track beautifully. And then again, Connect. 16% on the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have it up at Woodbine, so she can't run on it up
Exactly.
at Woodbine. And Mark's going to bring her down here, and he's going to take a shot. If it doesn't
good
work,
shot.
she's back on Topeka. She's back up at Woodbine or doing whatever she wants to do. Take a shot in here. I got no problems with her at all. I mean, she's going to have to prove it. I hope you get a square enough price to follow along.
Yeah, race 11, it's the grade 3 Kitten's Joy, a mile and a 16th on the grass course here. We scratched the 4 Agate Road from this spot, kind of changes the complexion of the race just a little bit. Let's pull up the replay of Deadpan because this was a trip, and I know you really like this guy today.
Yeah, I do like this horse today. This is my long shot today. He's going to be a nice price in here. I don't know. I don't want to say if they didn't try or what, but I just thought he wasn't really asked to do a whole heck of a lot here. And, by the way, he ran third, okay? It wasn't like he was seventh either. I didn't think you're going to see him come into the picture here flying late. He had to tip way out wide. He's rolling now. I don't know. I mean, he gets third. I guess he passed everybody he could pass.
Yeah.
I'm just expecting a lot better, and John Velasquez gets aboard today, and I would think Johnny, the Hall of Famer, put him in the race a little bit more early on, too.
I think so, too. Yeah, that was a tough trip. You don't run third typically and coming from a spot.
Doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Tokayo and Edgartown, we now lost Agate Road. We'll just throw this replay up just for a second because Tokayo might get loose here. I don't know.
I mean, what happened here was, in credit to Jorge Ruiz, he just lulled them all to sleep. And I think in this scratch down field, everybody expected him to get loose and stop, and he didn't stop. Look at the ears pricked here.
Yeah.
Very flat effort from Agate Road as well, but he's out, so that's not the point anymore. But this is going to happen again today.
Yes.
I don't know if this will happen again today, but he will be loose and controlling again today.
Yeah, he will. He can take some initiative, and then we have got the one hammer sign in the mix. First time on the grass for Brian Lynch blew up. I think he's a legitimate horse.
Yeah, he's going to have to run way faster, and unfortunately for you, the scratch is going to knock. He really should be 15 in this race, but scratch is going to hurt his price now.
The finale, the grade 3 Holy Bull. We've got Kentucky Derby points on the line here. It's an incredible race, a mile and a 16th. The 5 No More Time is out. The 7 Fierceness. What can you say more than this horse looks freaky?
Fierceness will be 1-5 in this race, and he should be 1-5 in this race. He's a 2-year-old champion. His only race on a fast track was an absolute freakish effort at Santa Anita in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile to cement his championship, and they're all looking up at him. Something needs to go very wrong. The rest of the horses can't beat him if he's, runs anywhere remotely close to his race. They have to improve leaps and bounds.
Right. Well, let's show the Mucho Macho Man because these are the others. We're not telling you to play these horses.
Yeah.
These are the others in here. Otello. We were both against them. C Street put the blinkers on, ran really good. I think this might be a bit too far.
Here's Inveigled, who was...
And Inveigled as well, yeah.
I think I had him 8-5 or something. He was 4-1. I'm like, what's happening here? He looked like he was going to get pulled up or something. He starts running at the end. Complexion a little different, but I want to throw this out to everybody. We ran the cash run that day for the 2-year-old fillies, okay? And the cash run, this race here, you just saw it, 137.76. The cash run, 137.19. I'm going to say just tread very lightly with this group out of the Mucho Macho Man.
Definitely.
Which is why we have Hades inside.
Exactly. And this to us is a one-punch exacta. Let's watch Hades here. What a effort.
Watch him just...
Poof. This was a tough post position. He ran this race the complete opposite way he broke his maiden. And I get that he was running against state breds here, but the way he leveled off Brian, you and I both said, wow.
This was a definitive performance, and I love what Joe's doing here, Joe Orsino. Listen, he's got to see what he's got, okay? Joe knows all along that he's going to meet a champion in here. I will say this. I said this the other day on a podcast. I'm not saying Fierceness is not trying to win today. Certainly they want to get him going and win. Hades is all in today.
Yes.
I don't think he can beat Fierceness, but he's going to be loose. Don't forget now, short stretch finish line is a massive, massive big deal for a horse like Hades. You wake up on that far turn, the wire is right there. Maybe we pop this here, 7-1, and I'm with you. We're both in the same camp in this.
Yeah, It's a great edition of the Holy Bowl. Very excited for it this year. The whole card is incredible. We'll take a look at the lightning round here. We've got the Tropical Turf Pick 3 again in play today, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It's a very good sequence, a competitive one at that, Brian.
Yeah, no doubt about it. $3 base, 15% takeout. You've got the ticket. You'll tweet it out. You'll talk about it a little bit later. 5, 8, and 11 today, so a nice little window there to fire. The payoffs have been massively overlaid in terms of comparison to the parlays.
They have. The Coast to Coast Pick 5 is back today, and wow, what a sequence, because you've got 2 different races in the sequence that are Derby points races.
Yeah, pretty cool. The Lewis out at our sister track in Santa Anita. Niles going to stretch out and see what he's got there. And, of course, our last 3 all graded stakes races.
Beat the Expert. Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
That's Brian today. Make sure to sign up online. You get a chance to win $50 when you play online. If you're here on track, up to $500. Yep. Brian's in that hot seat. You lost your best bet today.
Yeah, bummer. I lost my best bet today. Beat the host as well. Beat the Expert and beat the host as well on Express Bet. So check that out. Yeah, I got nothing. Unfortunately, that was a bummer because he was my anchor. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you can't. Mine's in just about 24 minutes with Kozal. Your long shot today.
Yeah, it is. I think it's deadpan, right? Okay. There we go. We're deadpan in race 8. That well. You know, again, the scratch of Agate Road, who we didn't really like, but they were going to bet him, so that hurts everybody in there.
Yeah, it does. I'm trying to remember. Well, that's not very. That will be out of the window now.
You know, you got my phone number. You could just text me, and I'll tell you what the odds are.
Yeah. Bitvatter's fine.
Bitvatter's on.
Anyway, it could be Hammerstein too. It's fine.
That's a real long shot.
That's a real long shot. Anyway, we're happy to have you aboard here with us. Ron will be with us for the opener and all throughout the day. Best of luck with all of your selections and enjoy Holy Bull Day. We'll send it upstairs to Pete Aiello. He'll walk you through the scratches and the changes on the card. Good luck.